Alright, friends and fans of Bob's Barn Workshop, here we are back again working on the 347 stroker for that red classic right over there. My light just went out, so I'm going to turn it back on. I moved it over here to be under that light. Alright, so what do we got today? Our heads are all on. We've got to clean the faces of the heads. We got to clean these china walls, they call them. We've got to clean the bottom of the manifold, which I just took the tape off. We've got to clean its china walls. And we have to treat the gaskets with some high-tech sealant. We have to put some RTV around the actual holes for the water jacket. I think I'm going to do a little bit on both sides. And then they get torqued down. I've got to check the torque specs. But what I did too, you want to align your manifold very carefully. I took some 3.5-inch bolts and cut the heads off and rounded them over in the grinder. So I'm going to put them in the four corners like so that when I lower the manifold on, it comes straight onto those gaskets, and then I'll just back these out. I'll just put them in finger tight. So I'm going to leave those there for now. We're going to clean those surfaces. I've got a lint-free rag. We're going to clean them with a brake cleaner, and we'll start putting the sealants on. Alright. So I'm just going to spray these surfaces with brake cleaner and get off any oils that are left behind. Spray it on the rag, get the china wall. I bought and purchased, ordered, whatever you want to call it, the exact gaskets that AFR sells. They're AFR gaskets. So I'm going to do a dry fit. What do you think? And then we have to put some RTV in different places. So I'm going to go over here to the manifold. And clean off any solvents or any oils. China wall. I'm getting a little blue paint residue, but that's alright. Hey guys, and they also set the posts for my post and beam, or my pole barn Bob's Barn Workshop edition. Oh yeah, baby. This is pretty badly pitted, but the gasket should seal against this well. There go all the parts. This thing's skidding around because there's leftover oil on the top of this from when I lubed everything up here the other day. Okay, clean, clean, clean. Alright, I'm going to dry fit this now. Going to back you up just a little bit, because I want to see how thick the china wall has to be. So these are AFR manifold gaskets, and they sit on just like that. Very simple. And where's where's the front? The front's down here. Okay. So this guy will sit just like that. Okay, so there's only about a 1/4 inch, if that. So I don't have to load that up super thick. That's what I wanted to test. So we have to treat the gaskets. We have to treat the face of these. These, how far up do they go? Almost all the way to the top, so the whole surface almost. I want to make sure I get RTV far out around this hole. It doesn't have to be tight. And I also have to put sealant on the bolts because they go into the actual engine case. That is just for vacuum leak. It doesn't really vacuum leak into the intakes, so that's not really a big issue. But we want to seal it. I've got some Teflon sealant I'm going to use. So let's see, how do I want to manage this? I'm going to move the manifold. I don't want to set these gaskets down so they get into anything. I'm just going to straddle the manifold over here. Oh, I got to go check the torque specs. Okay, so I just started putting this high-tech sealant. A nice wide application around each intake port. And I'm going to do the same thing on the gasket. And we don't want to lose any vacuum pressure here, any intake pressure, do we? Okay. I'm going to go over here to the gasket. I said to leave them apart for a few minutes anyway. And so I'm going to run a little bit around it. I'm going to leave the water jacket ports for RTV. Room temperature vulcanizing sealant is what RTV stands for, if you didn't know that. We want our intake to seal well. Now, I want to get my RTV. I want my RTV. I'm going to put it on the back of this gasket because then it'll line itself up automatically with this opening, won't it? And I'm just going to have to smear it on here. I'm going to run it out around this bowl. Just a little more right there. I hope we're doing this right. We'll try our best. That's all we can do. Let's try our best. All right. Make sure I get any goop out of the way. Sorry, I gotta just wipe my fingers off on something here. And what's nice about this is the head gasket sticks out from the bottom just a little bit. So that will guide us perfectly. This is going to be great. This is it. This is the bomb. All right. Got to do that other gasket. We're going to drop this guy. I'm sorry you can't see me, but this thing's all sticky and gooed up. Now it looks like the bolt holes are lined up perfectly. I don't know if I need to put gasket seal on the front. Do I? I don't believe I do. But I'm going to put it on the head because the head, or on the manifold itself. Okay, so now I want to put my guide pins in. Just a few turns. Those are just 5/16 bolts off at Home Depot, the cheapest ones they had there. Again, we're making sure these ports are centered and lined up. I'm going to put a little gasket seal around each one of the ports on this. Around the water, some of the water jackets looks a little pitted, so we want to make sure those get sealed well. Is this the right way to do it? I don't know. Is it the way I'm doing it? Yes. Well guys, I'm sorry you missed that because I was getting all the goop on the head, or on the manifold, and the battery runs out. So, we got her set in. I put her on the pegs here. We are going to put a little bit of Teflon sealant on all the bolts. And drop them in. Now, there's only one or two bolts that actually probably need this. But I already found the sequence for this. It's 10 pounds and then up to 18 pounds for the aluminum heads. So 18 will be our final. These are stainless. I rescued them from the original project. This Teflon will slick up the torquing too a little bit for us. I also watched the torquing sequence. Okay. Everything's looking wonderful so far. I can take my fake studs out now. They're not fake. They're temporary alignment studs, whatever I call them. We are coming very close on this project, aren't we? I'm going to get this torque down before too long here. I'm going to wipe the threads on this one off. They look pretty dirty. All right. Clean up my hand a little bit here. It's 9/16. That's not the one I want. There's my 3/8. Okay. Just gonna run these down in the cross sequence. But they're supposed to, just till they touch firm. What do you think? She beginning to look like an engine? Alright, so torque wrench. First setting is 10 pounds. So what did I tell you? I think he went there it goes. 2, 3, 4, down to the end, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now up to 18. 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, final torque, same pattern. that it's the final torque on that. My china walls look fine. She sat right down nice. I'm not going to change anything. And that's all I can do for now, guys. I'm going to let that sit. I'm going to be gone a while. I mean, I could put the valve covers on, but I want to make sure I'm happy with everything. That's fine. As long as it rides on the roller. She's going to be a nice motor. Engine. A lot of Ford Blue, baby. But that's what she is. She's a Ford. Alright, well, I guess I'm going to hang that up for tonight. We are going away tomorrow to the lake. They're building. I got to run out and show you this. Quick preview. The boy has been talking about his new barn workshop. Bob is getting an addition to the barn workshop. And yes, there it is. They set posts today, so I can have my car shop. Of course, we have piles of materials. We're going to pour concrete in about a week. Roof trusses are over here. Now what's going to happen is they're going to rest on this row of beams here and tie back into the roof about halfway between the hip and the gutter. And the rafter, the trusses, you know, slant upward, and they're going to hit the roof just about where that second bend is in the roof. And they're going to sheath and Tyvek it for me and put in the doors, and then it's up to me to finish it off. I'm going to be putting siding on it this summer for sure, doing some wiring. I really would like to get the gas furnace installed before the stupid state prevents me from doing so. Maniacs. But yeah, we're coming right along. They poured two 80-pound bags of concrete in the bottom of each hole that they set the pole on. So we're looking good. Yeah, when I set the manifold on here, as I said, the battery had run out, so I quickly put a big bead right from this junction up onto the gasket a little bit. There's a crack there. That's where you don't want it to leak. And a big fat bead on top of where the china wall is going to be here. And on the bottom of the manifold, I smeared that so it will give it something to tack to. Easier to mate two pieces of RTV than RTV to raw steel, right? Especially if it starts to skin over. So that's what I did on that, and then of course the front and the back, they look perfect. And all those do is they seal the crankcase. So I mean, if they leak, they're just leaking pulse power from inside the engine case, because as the crankcase, as the pistons go up and down, they're compressing volumes of air. Now the other pistons are moving up and down out of sequence and stuff, but it still creates pulses of pressure and vacuum, and they're all at the same time. And that's what your PCV valve does. It's a one-way valve that allows it, when there's positive pressure, to blow out, and your carburetor is sucking vacuum, and it's pulling that waste fumes out of the engine compartment, out of the crankcase, blow by, and into the base of the carburetor to get reburnt. And it also basically keeps negative pressure inside the crankcase so that the oil doesn't want to leak out. You know, because it's kind of has like a suction inside the engine. Alright guys and gals, that's it for now. I've got a whole bunch of content I've got to get through. Plus I got to go to the lake for a weekend. I have a show up there, but next week we'll be putting out some more videos. Take care, God bless.